So this all began on June 16th, coming down the escalator with Melania. And I was coming down. I said, come on. Because it takes guts to run for president, I want to tell you. It takes guts. It's not easy. And I wasn't sure how I'd do. Because, you know, I was getting numbers 4 years ago. I was actually leading, but I didn't run. I wasn't running. But they put my name and I was leading. I was beating Romney. I was beating everybody. But I never ran. I was doing a lot of different jobs. And I watched that, and I watched it we're doing big jobs now, but they're almost finished, like the one on Pennsylvania Avenue, the big hotel, gotten by the Obama administration 2 years ahead of schedule and under budget. Think of that. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great if our military deals and if our highways and our trains and all of these things came in ahead of schedule and under budget? They don't even know what the language is. That's what's going to happen. But that's what's going to happen. You know, that's what's going to happen. So I came down the escalator, and it was about trade, and it was about really the borders, and I had other things, but really trade, because I could not stand when you see trade imbalances the way we have, when you see what we're going through with trade. Just so you understand, again, I get along great with China, great respect. They cannot believe, I have many friends from China, they cannot believe what they get away with. They tell me that. We can't believe it. Now, they don't say it anymore. They used to say it before they knew I was running for president. They said, you know, I was only kidding when I said that. But they cannot believe. Mexico can't believe it. And just so you understand, to finish off on the wall, the reason that Mexico is going to pay for the wall is we have a trade deficit with Mexico of $58 billion a year. The wall is going to cost $10 billion. So it's simple, right, folks? Okay, right? How simple is that? The business people, look at that guy, that big handsome guy with the red hat, Make America Great Again. Oh, and he's got a modest head of hair. He's got a modest head, not bad. You look good, man. But we are going to, when you see that, you know, people don't understand. So they come up to me, you can't get Mexico to pay for the wall. Then they hear that we have a trade deficit of $58 billion and the wall's 10. Do you think I might be able to make that deal? Because we have tremendous negotiating power with trade. Tremendous. We have it with China. We have rebuilt China. China has trains that go 300 miles an hour. We have trains on the Long Island Expressway. I don't know if you've seen these trains. They go chug, chug, chug. Then they fall off the tracks because the tracks are all broken. It's a mess. You go to Dubai, you go to Qatar, you go to these places, you see airports the likes of which you've never seen before. The most incredible. Pilots land and they say, oh, look at this runway. You come back into LaGuardia, you got potholes all over the place. It's like third world. No, we're like a third world country. Not going to happen anymore, folks. It's not going to happen anymore. It's not going to happen anymore. And you know, when I came in, because I have an amazing relationship with Mississippi, so many friends, and when I came in, one of them met me at the airport and said to me, amazing what's happening with jobs. It's just taking the jobs away. And, you know, again, we're doing very badly with employment. That 5% was put in so that presidents look good. Because when you stop looking for a job, they consider you employed. So a guy's looking for a job for 120 days just gives up. A woman, a man, gives up. Now they're considering the person employed. And they say 5%. I'll tell you what, you wouldn't have thousands of people on the football field, and you wouldn't have thousands of people in this room if you had a real 5% unemployment, despite trade, despite everything else. If you had a real 5% unemployment, it's probably 25%, okay? It's probably 25%. And everybody says this, they're bad jobs. Even the people on Obama's side, on the other side, they're bad jobs. So it began with trade, it began with the border, and then we had the attack in Paris. And I want to tell you, that really shook people up, because Paris has the toughest gun laws in the world. The country of France has the toughest gun laws in the world. And guys walked in, thugs, and they called the head mastermind. I said, never do that, never call, because what they're doing on the internet is they're taking our youth, and our youth are leaving our country and fighting for ISIS. These people are saying the mastermind. He's not the mastermind. He's a creep with a dirty cap, the one with the white cap. He's a creep. He's a lowlife. He's a lowlife. So then you had Paris, and you had these thugs go into a few different places. Boom, boom, boom. Move over here. Boom, boom. Get over. 130 people dead. Many, many people gravely injured right now in the hospital. Never be the same. Many will die, by the way, but never be the same. Then you had in California, you had the two people, the radicalized, where I guess he became radicalized because of her, whatever happened. And they worked with these people, right? They worked with them. They were given a baby shower for their baby by the people that they killed. So there's something going on here, folks. And we have to get down to it. We have to be smart. We have to be vigilant. We have to be careful, or we're not going to have a country anymore. We can't take in the people, you know, the migration. It's a horrible thing. It's a sad thing. But we can't take in people that we have no idea who they are. We have no idea who they are. I mean, I have as big a heart as anybody, believe me, and I like the idea of building a safe zone in Syria, and I have to get the Gulf states to pay for it. The Gulf states aren't spending. The Gulf states have so much money. They have so much money, they don't know what to do with the money they have. Thank you, I love that. Look at that guy. Not one sign, but two. He's a good-looking guy. Two signs. He's up there. Well, you agree with what I'm saying. The Gulf states have so much money, they're not spending anything. And by the way, they're not taking anybody. They're not taking, they're not spending. We protect Saudi Arabia. Now, a year ago, when the oil prices were high, now it's half, but when the oil prices were high, Saudi Arabia was making $1 billion a day, a machine. We protect them. It's wonderful. Got to help us out now, folks. Different. We protect South Korea. You have the maniac over in North Korea. Every time he rears his head, we start sending our ships, our planes, our this. Costs us a fortune. They pay us peanuts. We have 28,000 soldiers on the border, right, between North and South Korea. We protect Japan. We protect Germany. A lot of people don't know this. You know, when people see our military budget, it's many, many times bigger than any other military budget, but it's really not ours. We're protecting all of these countries. And with the right messenger, just like I told you the story with Iran, with the right messenger, they'll pay. They got nothing but money. Germany. Who has a Mercedes-Benz here? Everybody's like, you know, does anybody have a Mercedes? Oh, good. You buy American, right? Good. No, but think of it. Germany is a behemoth. It's an economic behemoth. They're so rich. They're so rich. And we protect Germany. We protect everybody. We protect everybody. And yet we can't beat ISIS. We can't beat ISIS. You know how long it's going to take to beat ISIS? Do you know ISIS is going to go down so fast, folks? It's going to go down so fast. So we used to read medieval times, right? I used to love history. And you'd read about medieval times. That's when they chopped off heads. Now we have people chopping off heads. And the other day at one of the debates, one of the many debates, are these debates getting boring? Oh. How many times can they ask you the same question over and over again? Oh, it is so boring. And you know, then these guys shout at me. Oh, they shout. I'm always in the center. I've been in the center. The center means you're number one, right? I've been in the center for every single debate. And the line's getting smaller, smaller, smaller. I watched this guy, Lindsey Graham. He started off at 7, then he said something nasty about me, so I attacked him. He went from 7 to 0, and now he's on, we can't let Donald Trump be president. The guy went from 7, he had 0, and he wouldn't get out. And you will all agree to this. So far, in fact, Marco Rubio, big, big hit. He attacked me last week. So far, and wouldn't this be great for the country? So far, every single person that's attacked me has gone down. Is that true? It all fair. Who knows? And now Marco's gone down. He's gone down. But you know, but that's what we need. Whatever it is, I don't know, whatever it is, you can define it, do whatever you want. So when I started in trade. I started doing the basics, and then we had the attack in Paris, and all of a sudden CNN and others did a poll, and the poll came out that we like Trump on the military, we like Trump on the border. Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who's a great guy, tough as hell. Sheriff Joe! We love Sheriff Joe. Last week I get a call, Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Mr. Trump, I'd like to endorse you. I said, is this really Sheriff Joe? How tough is Sheriff Joe, right? And Sheriff Joe endorses you, that's great, that's great. Sarah Palin endorsed me, you know, who's great. We have a lot of great endorsements. Some of the greatest business leaders in the world, Carl Icahn, and many of them endorsed me. I'll tell you, Jerry Falwell Jr. was so helpful. He was so helpful. You know, I'm leading with the evangelicals. I'm a good Christian, and I'm leading with the evangelicals. And I want to tell you something. Jerry was so great. Pastor Jeffress. I mean, we have so many people But I'll tell you this. Christianity, and I put it in the same vein and sometimes in the same sentences, Christianity is being chipped away at in this country. In this country. It's being chipped away at. And I'm not going to let it happen. Do you know I was with a whole room full, like 50 pastors, ministers, great people, some of whom I knew pretty well and some I don't. And I said to them, let me ask you a question. How many Christians, evangelicals, but just Christians, do we have in this country? And they were saying maybe 250 million, maybe 260 million. I said, so that's more than we have women. It's more than we have men. It's by far the biggest group. Then why aren't you banding together and getting the kinds of things you want? When people talk about we need a temporary ban on Muslims until we find out what is going on here, okay? There is total outrage. When people talk about Christians and Christianity, there's no outrage. There's no outrage. I said, let me ask you, and these are great believers, these are great people, these are strong people, smart people. I said, why is it, and I think I really found something that's very important for all of us, why is it that you people don't have a stronger lobby? And during Lyndon Johnson's regime, I will call it, because that's sort of what it was, if you think about it, but during his term as president, they passed something where the tax deduction is under siege if they do anything that's a little bit off. Okay? So they're going to lose tax-exempt status, right? And I said, wait a minute, that's right, that's the answer. I figure, I'm a pretty smart guy, I figure things out pretty quickly. So as soon as I mentioned it, I said, that's it. Because I said then, so the man walking, I was in Trump Tower, I pointed down to the sidewalk, there were people walking on the sidewalk. I said, then those people walking on the sidewalk are more powerful than you people in the clergy, the pastors, the ministers, the priests, the people in the clergy. They're more powerful. They said, that's right. I said, not going to happen anymore. We're going to get rid of that thing. I want Christianity to have a strong flavor. Why did we ever pass a thing like that? And it's so important. I mean, really, they've shut Christianity down. And these are great people, but they're afraid to do. For instance, some people came up to me, Mr. Trump, I love you. You're the best. You're going to be the greatest leader. You're going to be. I want to endorse you. I'm endorsing you. But I'm not allowed to do it publicly because if I do it publicly, I may lose for the church the tax-exempt status. So they're really being silenced, and we can't let that happen. We can't let that happen. I don't care about the endorsement. They're really being silenced. We can't let that happen. We're not going to let it happen. And we're going to get that thing repealed. And think of the power we have over the Democrats, over the Republicans. I mean, the power is incredible. So we're going to get that taken care of, and we're going to be back. And I'll tell you what, come Christmas time, we're going to all be in these department stores that don't have Merry Christmas, and we're going to see Merry Christmas right in those stores, right? They don't put it up anymore. We're going to see Merry Christmas at the department stores again, folks. You goes into these stores, you don't even see Merry Christmas anymore. You say, why? Why? The store owners and the big companies especially, like Macy's, which is extremely a very disloyal company. But these big companies, they don't want to use it because it's not politically correct. It's going to be not politically correct not to put it up. You watch. You watch. You watch. So we're going to be saying Merry Christmas again. The other thing, and I have to tell you, Second Amendment. I am going to be so strong on the Second Amendment. So strong. I am going to be so strong. So I told you, they're chipping away at Christianity, and they're chipping away at the Second Amendment. Every year, chip, chip, chip. And, we talked about Paris. If they had people on the other side of that room, toughest gun laws in the world, or you talk about California, if they had people on the other side of that room, like this guy with the green hat that says Trump on it, right? Raise your hand. I'll tell you, he knows what I'm talking about. Nobody's going to... Or even the young man right there with that other beautiful hunter's cap that says Make America. Hold that hat up. Who's over here? That guy right there. Look at the guy with the blue shirt. Tough cookie. If they had a gun strapped to their waist, if they had a gun strapped around their ankle, and these thugs walked in, whether it's Paris or anywhere, you know what? You're going to have bullets flowing in the other direction. Not going to be the same story, folks. And in fact, it won't even happen in the first place, okay? So